All right, we are live. We are into week 3. I thought it was week 4 all day. Week 3 of Choose Your Own Adventure, Journey to Wellbeing, which is something that was put together by myself and 3 other amazing women who you're going to meet shortly. And I'm going to sort of explain what that's about. But we really wanted to pull the curtain across with the sisterhood and show each area. Like sometimes it's actually called the shopping cart theory, where you just kind of throw everything at people, like, look at all this amazing stuff. And it can be so overwhelming. And it's like filling up a shopping cart and getting to the place and paying the money and being like, whoa, what did I even get, right? So this is really about looking at each area. So we've already covered off gut health and weight loss. And this week we're moving into skin health, which is why you're here. So I am not Anna Richards, I am Alila Pinto, although we use Anna's account for this, so you'll see my little name there. And I am a part of the Sisterhood Society, a mum of 3, I'm a health coach, and a bunch of things, but really what I'm most excited about is all of the work in the Sisterhood Society. And I'm here with Cez, Kate and Steph, who are going to be on the chat with you guys. Although, you know, it's hard to get all of us and we all love to chat, so we would all kind of chat at you. They are on the chat to answer any and all of your questions. They are your cheerleaders, your virtual BFFs and cheerleaders. So please, if you've got questions, ask them, mostly because I'm trying to get through this and not ramble forever. And I hate to have to stop all the time and answer your questions, but I really want to answer your questions, okay? So for those of you who didn't or who weren't here at the very, very beginning, a few minutes ago, we were just I was saying to everybody how grateful I am to all of you who are here, be it your first time or you've been here all along. I just really want to honor that, because it is hard at night times. It's hard. Life is busy, really busy. So I really want to say thank you so much for that and for being here. It means a lot to me and to the girls when everyone shows up and says g'day, and the more high vibe that we can all be together, the better, right? So as I mentioned, we're in week 3 skin health. Now, I always like to say this, I'm not a doctor, I'm not your doctor. I don't know what's going on in your life, right? So I'm here to deliver truth in the only way that I know how, which is raw, straight to the point, no BS. But I'm not your doctor. And so anything that is happening with you that's different to what I'm talking about, please don't take my word over someone else who's dealing with you professionally. So I went to go do this week and I was like, oh my gosh, like whether or not it's gut health or weight loss, we've got energy performance, we've got women's health stuff coming up. Really, this week, skin week, every single woman I know has had a skin thing at some point in their lives, be it that sort of, you know, teenage acne phase or, you know, hormonal skin through pregnancy issues, or is dealing with, you know, all the things, rashes, you know, eczema, like you name it. I actually cannot think of one woman. And then I was like, hang on, probably my best friend who has the most perfect skin in the world. And then I realized, no, actually she's had psoriasis her whole life since we were kids. And so actually, literally, there isn't a woman I know that hasn't had something going on with skin. Steph just said pigmentation. Yep, my sister just had first baby, noticed a big difference with that. So, you know, we've all had something, right? And what I find so fascinating about this is that almost every woman will tell you they've tried a lot when it comes to skincare, right? Like, oh, I've tried this serum and I had facials and I did microdermabrasion, or I did this pill, or I took the pill. You know, it was something quite surface value. And I really want to make that point as we go through all of this. So as you guys know, I like to give a bit of hashtag science. So the skin is the largest organ, what Jess just said, dark circles. Yeah. And the more weight you lose, more wrinkles, right? Which is the protein, which will help, which we'll go into actually. So the skin is the largest organ of the body. So it's about 20 square feet, if that means anything to you. I'll just add that in. The skin protects us from microbes and all the elements. Obviously, it helps us to regulate body temperature. And what I love is it's an organ that allows us to feel things, you know, so sensations of touch, heat and cold. You know, anyone knows when we get excited, like especially us in the sisterhood. If you're not in the sisterhood yet, you'll understand at some point, but you know, we're always like goosebumps about things that happen. So it's such an emotional thing too, which again, just keep that in your head. So there's different layers, the epidermis, the dermis, and then that fatty tissue. So the thinnest part, just a little bit of knowledge for you, is on the eyelids, and the thickest part of skin is the palm of your hands and soles of your feet, which obviously makes sense, right? Because we're touching things, we're walking around on the ground, as spiky things get us all the time. So the functions of the skin is basically, it's the most versatile organ, which I found really beautiful. And some of the different functions include, obviously, I love, someone wrote this, a waterproof wrapping of your entire body. I thought how hilarious that is. But it's also your first line of defense against bacteria. It's a cooling system. So sweat, heat, when we've got a fever, obviously, we can feel that in skin. I certainly know I feel it in my skin before I even kind of feel it in sickness. And it's a sensory organ, like I said, so it gives us information about pain, pleasure, temperature, and pressure, which I love. And I believe with every part of my being that our skin is this beautiful outer layer that shows us what's going on inside. Same with our eyes, which I'll talk about in a little bit too. But I believe 100% that everything that shows up on our skin is a sign of something that's going on internally. It is not just our skin. It is not separate to the rest of our body. So aging skin is probably one of the things that people will talk about the most. And really aging skin just means the cells depletion of. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're aging because you're getting older. It means that the skin is aging. I'll explain that a bit more in a minute. But these are the top things, obviously: drinking, smoking, sun exposure, diet, stress, sugar, sleep, cellular aging, genetics, and anger. Now, I'll let you go into this research if you choose to, but emotions show up in the skin so much. And I mean, if you met someone who'd had a really hard life in their 80s or so, you will notice that in their skin, compared to someone who's had a very beautiful, perhaps easy life, let's say. So a massive, massive difference there. And you will see that. So I'll allow you, if you want, to go do some more research on that, but it's really a beautiful thing. And I think none of those in the list, and please share in the comments if you can, are surprising to anyone, right? I think we all know that, like, sugar is terrible for the skin. We know, we know that smoking and too much sun exposure, especially as Aussie women, I feel like we really are aware of that. So, I don't think much of that is surprising. So I want to kind of take it a step further for you guys, because you're smart women. And those of you watching the recording, I know, are incredibly smart women also, no doubt. So I really want to give you the honor of kind of going into that a bit more. So if you've watched all of the weeks, you will know that something remains true throughout, and that is the real food is the best food. That something, if you can't farm it, fish it, pluck it from a tree, or pull it from the ground, don't have it, right? That's the theory that I will have for the rest of my life, because it's true. Right now, I don't talk in sense of good food or bad food, because all food is just food, and there's more bad habits than there is bad foods. But when it comes to obviously nourishing skin, it makes a massive difference. So, an apple, a kiwi fruit, a blueberry actually has so much in the way of micronutrients that's obviously there to help certain things in the body, and therefore the skin. There's nothing separate to that. So I think by now, most of you guys know that. What I really want to dive further into is really what the Chinese medicine practitioners look into it. It's one of my favorite things. And really, it's always thinking about this tree, right? If a branch on a tree suddenly is rotting and dying, you don't just cut off that branch and hope that the next one's going to be fine. Well, actually, probably doctors would and probably husbands would. But let's be real, it's something that's going on in the soil, in the roots of the tree, right? And they talk about that what you see is the organs and the systems. So your, all sorts of your hormonal system, your respiratory system. I mean, the actual beautiful branches of a tree look like lungs. It is the air that we breathe. But really what's going on deeper beneath all of that is, your nutrition, your air and water, the physical activity that you're having. Are you sweating? Is the body having a chance to kind of be stressed, but in a good way? Toxicity in the environment, a big one. Sleep and circadian rhythm. So really not being under unnatural light, going to sleep when the sun goes down, waking up when it comes up, being in tune to nature like that. Energy systems, obviously your balance, your chi. Psychological balance and stress, obviously, and then your spiritual and social connection. Now, the last couple of weeks, you guys have heard me talk so much about fun, right? I'm really interested in fun because it literally makes a huge difference on how the body actually absorbs food. You know, you hear me say constantly, you are not what you eat, you are what you absorb. There's a big difference. So you could be super healthy, but your body isn't. You could eat all the most incredible green juices and fruit and veg all day long, and you're still unhealthy. And that's because it's really only one part of all of these deeper roots, right? And I look at the skin as this more so than anything else. You know, too often there's a eczema or a acne, and it's a cream to cover that. And to me, that's chopping the branch off the tree. That's not looking at anything else. And nothing is more so prevalent than the skin, and I think the eyes. So we know hormones have a big role to play. Again, same thing. It's all those other things going on. When it talks about systems, hormones are a big one. I'm not going to go on a rant about the pill. We can save that for another time. But I think, you know, you guys probably, again, as smart women, you're going to know that. But this is not, you know, a solution. This is, you know, about so many other factors of why the hormones are not having any other place to go. There are some things around that you can, again, do your research on, because it's some beautiful, more new age stuff on how hormones actually move through the colon. So the more fiber you're having, the more chance that the hormones have to flush out and through your body. So it's things getting stuck in the systems, basically. You know, if hormones aren't moving through, something in your system is not flushing properly. So something I do religiously is face mapping. I know it like the back of my hand now. So I can send you guys this image too if you watch this, and whoever sent you this recording or here, I will hopefully have it as well. Otherwise, you could just Google it. There's lots of different ones, but I actually literally use this one. It's in my phone all the time. So, but you can really see the areas. So if I have a big night drinking, which is so rare these days, but if I did, I will the next morning always have a red dot. It's usually actually under this eye. It's kind of like a little red dot that sits around there. Now, if you go to face mapping, you'll see right away that that's the kidney and liver. So liver right away, right? My body doesn't process things very well. That's something that is just a part of where my body is. So it'll show up straight away. Obviously, you've seen before, you know, eyes, the whites of the eyes, you know, that's liver especially. But, you know, it's really important to note, you can see all different areas, hormones, reproductive organs through here. Anyone that will say that's hormonal time of the month, especially along the jawline here. But yeah, the skin is showing what's up all the time. So face mapping is a really incredible thing. So let's delve a little bit deeper into diet, right? Now, I used to work in magazine. I don't know if anyone knows this. I worked for Women's Health and Fitness magazine for many, many years. So I have been around the magazine world. And what annoyed me more than anything, besides the incredible amount of photoshopping that would have happen on the covers every week, was this constant talk about skin and diets, and obviously weight and diets, but for the sake of this week, let's talk about skin, and how it was just the same thing said differently and repurposed to basically help to promote skincare brands, right? I'm not here to do that. I'm here to give you the truth and then solutions to those that we use in the sisterhood. But this is what we know to be true. Again, real foods, nothing refined, from a plant, not made in a plant. High quality protein, meaning, you know, organic, free range, not crappy farmed, you know, meats and things. High quality fats. You know that an oil isn't going to be a great fat. No, not even coconut oil. Forget coconut oil. It's ridiculous. It's a complete fad, probably the worst one of all. And look at real oils, you know, avocados, nuts and seeds, those sort of fats. Fiber, again, like I said about the hormones, organic, non-GMO, so nothing genetically modified. Again, it's not a real food. It's basically made in a plant, but a bit fancier. And again, those fruits and vegetables, those micronutrients that you're getting, all the incredible amount of nutrients that like one strawberry will have in it that does a bunch of different things. Again, no chemicals, no hormones in any of the food that you're having, and antioxidants, right? We know that. We know that antioxidants help, and I'm going to go into that a little bit. So I said that notice the trend each week, because each week, obviously, the same thing comes up, right? I'm not sitting there going, this weight loss is different, this is not different. It is just about listening to your body, understanding, as I talk about, bio-individuality, and knowing what works for one person may not work for you, that your skin may be way more sensitive, that your hormones may act completely different, that you're at a different stage in your life, a huge one. I guess nothing frustrates me more than the amount of influencers out there, you know, pushing these same products, as one company decides to, you know, book 20 of them to talk about these products. And it's like, no, that's not the truth of it all. You all have completely different skin to, say, someone else. So again, it's about understanding your body a little bit more. So skincare, is it worth it? I had this question asked to me yesterday, and honestly, my answer is no. But I will say, obviously, skincare has its place, you know, of course, like moisturizer, you know, certain serums, things like that. Again, it's like having a beautiful outer surface if you feel like you can there. You know, as we age, we need different things on our skin. But what I'm here to say is obviously that the internal will always mean more than the external when it comes to skin. No matter what is going on with your skin, no matter what age you are, no matter if you're a female or a male, it is always going to be more about what is inside the body than any time you ever put anything on top of the body. So let's talk about collagen for a sec, because it's obviously the buzzword. And if you follow me in social media, you'll know that I love to rip other brands apart. Not because I'm mean, but because I love to be honest. And because when a buzzword happens, people go bananas, people meaning companies, in creating quickly a product to do with that. Now, the same thing happened 15 years ago with the gluten-free movement, where they realized that gluten was making so many people unwell. And so every company went and they made gazillions of dollars making gluten-free products. Now, were those products healthy? Fuck no, almost none of them. They were full of sugar. They put in all this other crap to make up for the gluten not being there, rather than addressing the issue, which is that there is way more gluten in everything than anybody needs, that it's an artificial, you know, thing, really, a binding product for things made in a factory, right? So the fruit and veg industry really should have been the ones to capitalize on the gluten-free movement. Yeah, lead is gluten-free, but I still wouldn't eat it. Yep. So the same thing happened with collagen, but I'm here to show you and really kind of educate you guys on what that is. So collagen is the most abundant protein actually in the human body. It's found in bones, muscles, skin, tendons, eyes, and it's basically the substance that holds the body together. It's kind of jelly-like, right? And it provides scaffolding. So you can actually see this is what collagen looks like. It's like a building block. So you'll hear that sort of, protein is the building blocks of the body, right? It's the marketable term. So 8 ways that it supports the body is, you know, these are the ones I came up with, is hair and nails, your gut health. So it really does have a role to play in the repair of leaky gut, which I spoke about in week 1. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But you'll see in that video, we talk about the lining of the gut. So again, that's a building block to help repair that. In the joints, skin, eyes, reduce cellulite. Again, think about building blocks, a damaged part of the skin. It actually helps the body to detoxify. That's got a lot more to do with that protein element of it, and boost metabolism. And there are 3 types really that we talk about, type 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more shortly. Did anyone have anything else to add to that? Feel free to ask questions. So I think that kind of loosely explains skin. And I'm going to go a little bit more into us with the sisterhood. Okay. So first of all, as always, I love to shout out our cheerleaders that are here with me, who have put their focus into skin of late using one of the products of collagen, because there are 2. And this is the marine collagen. So this is Cezi after 65 days, unbelievable. And I always notice with everyone, their eyes, not just the whites of their eyes, but their eyes become brighter. I notice it crazy with mine. Steffi, 15 days. Again, look at the eyes. I mean, there's always so much more in the skin tone. This is me. So I didn't think I had a photo, because I always forget to I never take photos of myself basically. But this photo on the left is me with makeup on, trying to cover up, it was over the Christmas period, feeling really stressed out and everything. And then this photo was me the other day with no makeup on. So again, all eyes popping more. And this is Kate. Unbelievable. Again, eyes. This isn't like changing the, you know, the thing on here, the, you know, the look of the photo. And the reason that I'm actually only sharing us for is because if you go to any of us here and whoever sent you this video and you ask them to see more, they'll literally have, from just the last 3 months, thousands thousands of examples to show you. What I'm trying to do is give you an unbiased. I'm not going to cherry pick, you know, the top 10 that I've seen from the sisterhood or from around Australia or from around the world. I'm going to show you just ours so that you understand the powerful nature of this collagen, right? So obviously other things that I really want you to get into your head that helps with skin is the gluten-free, non-GMO, no hormones, because obviously if you're adding layers onto those already areas in your body, that's going to cause a lot of issue. And obviously in the sisterhood and the systems that we use is full of nutrients. So again, it's about flooding that body full of nutrients, because we recognize that even our fruits and vegetables today are not what they used to be. There's more on that in the previous weeks if you want to as well. And again, just really bringing home that you are what you absorb. So needing to repair being such a huge thing. I want to touch on dairy too. And funnily enough, I'm going to read it to you guys. So obviously one of the things that gets brought up all the time, one of the number one questions I get asked is about dairy and skincare and skin, right? So obviously if you notice that you get a breakout straight after having dairy, there's a problem. You don't have to be a doctor to figure that out, right? But this whole kind of premise that dairy causes skin issues is most of the time actually very untrue. It can be, so this is a incredible doctor who I follow, and she has explained it really well. So over time, the poor dietary choices that you make damage your gut health. More specifically, your small intestine after long periods of exposure to hard to digest, irritating foods. So low stomach acid and enzymes to break down the food, and it becomes basically an inflamed intestine, which struggles to uptake proper nutrients, including the dairy, right? So with enough inflammation, it will struggle to release the lactase and therefore to break down the dairy. So essentially what she's saying is that a compromised gut will be unable to break down dairy. It's not necessarily that dairy is bad. Now, I know all of you vegans on the call will have a go at me about that. And I was dairy-free for a long time. I certainly don't go drinking milk or really having cheeses or anything like that, because my body, I know, doesn't deal with it as well. But I want you to understand that a good quality dairy is actually really super beneficial, but it's also going back to, again, previous weeks, inflammation, gut health, the two biggest things. So if your body is inflamed because it's having gluten when it shouldn't, it's having, you know, farmed proteins, which are full of hormones, you know, chicken. I mean, they pump up a chicken now in like, you know, what is it, like 3 weeks versus the 6 months that it's meant to. So, you know, when we talk about the dairy that we are having in our shakes as a part of the system that we have to get the nutrients in with the lowest amount of calories, highest amount of nutrients, we're talking about no hormones, no GMO, no shitty dairy. We're talking about Happy Cow Dairy from New Zealand. So I really wanted to bring that home. I hope that I have been able to deliver that properly. And obviously the other parts of our system is stress reduction. We use adaptogens for that, full on nutrients. So really flooding the body full of that. Cellular cleanse support, we call it sometimes cleansing, sometimes fasting. I like to call it a cellular shower, but the same thing is true however you want to call it. It's about the cells being rejuvenated, and antioxidant support. So a lot of you, thanks, Steffi. She said I explained it perfectly. Love you, girl. A lot of you actually, even my sisterhood sisters who are on this call, may not actually really understand our full range of antioxidant support. So that's what I'm going to go into a little bit more for you guys now. So the hero product of the moment, if you're watching this because you may be interested in some incredible skin benefits, look no further. If there's only one thing you take from this, it's going to be to get this into your system. I have done all comparisons of every collagen that I can find out there on the market, almost. Probably they keep making so many so fast I can't keep up. But by all means, go and check that out on my Insta story things. But I'll just break this one down, which is 5 grams of marine collagen. This is wild caught Scandinavian coast fish. So that's really important because it's not farmed fish. So omegas, like if you go into a Chemist Warehouse, you know, there's big things of omegas and they're like $15 for a big bottle. Do not have those. Throw them in the bin right now. Do not give them to anyone in your family. This is farmed fish where they're grabbing it and they put farmed fish, water. Okay, you got it? Into the water, they throw handfuls of chemicals, hormones, every shitty thing that you can imagine into the water. The fish eat it up, right? It's to keep the fish growing big and strong fast. And it's to then grab those fish, draw the oil from their skin and make the omega oils, fish oil, right? Now, what's wrong with that? Well, I hope that you guys have learned a little bit about skin tonight to understand that the skin is also where all toxins are going to be coming out from. So when you're drawing that fish oil from a fish that's had all this disgusting stuff in it, you are then putting that in your body. You're putting the most concentrated version of that in your body. So I'd rather you than have those shitty omegas. I'd rather you go out and just eat chemicals. No, I didn't say that, but you know what I mean? It's so bad. Okay, so it's really important that you understand the wild caught, that it's actually in the Scandinavian coast as well, because Isagenix finds the best place in the world for that product and goes to it, right? Same thing with the adaptogens, a part of Russia. You know, it's not about going out and just making a shitty version of it in a lab. Okay, that's really important. There's no oxidation. So see those little bottles? It is produced and quickly bottled up in glass bottles made of sand, completely biodegradable, completely no trash, what I'm trying to say. And also that no oxidation is super important for marine collagen, okay? Because if you're turning a marine collagen into a powder, you're losing so much of its strength, its potency, okay? Yeah, they're made up of like a sand, and that's why they it's a glass sand. You have to look up the process, but it's pretty incredible. Yeah. So no oxidation. Oh wow. No oxidation. The other thing, so amazing collagen, they could have just left it there. They literally could have just left it there and it would still shit over all the other products, right? But no, they decide, let's make this the best in the world. So they add biotin. Now, biotin's a vitamin that you could go and buy from the chemist. You'll actually see biotin bottles. I had it years ago. But don't go do that because you actually need other things to go along with it. But biotin basically helps your nails, your hair to grow. Biotin really gets in there. So everyone on this product has noticed that. For me, it's my lashes. For other people, it's been hair growth. And then zinc, vitamin C, goji berry. So goji berry antioxidants. Your zinc and vitamin C helps your body to absorb the rest of that stuff. So there's also, always one thing needs another. Okay, let's have a little look here. Jess has had, sorry for people watching the recording, a hailstorm and it's broken a window. Oh my God. Now, I don't know, Jess, if I need to remind you of this, but glass cuts skin. So please be careful. All right. Then we've got our other collagen product, which is equally amazing. This is bovine. So it comes from cow. Again, not cows, shitty cows, farmed cows, but the best cow you can get in the world. This is type 2, type 3. So while this isn't going to completely change your skin like the marine collagen or your eyes, this is very much going to help you with your gut health, your joint health, okay? Massively. I've had people that have their, and this is the bone broth. So you're putting boiling water with it. I add sachets to the kids' soup. I made a big pumpkin soup. I used the veg one in there. The slow cooker, I mean, you can go nuts with it, right? But it's, again, a huge amount of incredible type 2, type 3 collagen. This we also use when we're cleansing or fasting, like I mentioned before. It's a support for that, to be able to have a hot cup of bone broth, which is incredible, right? There's veg, chicken, and beef. Now, vegetarians always go, it's the vegetable one. And then they sort of realize, hang on, but the collagen doesn't come from vegetables because there is no collagen in vegetables. So yes, bovine means beef. Now, the other things that are incredible for the skin that is a part, again, of our range, I love to share all of this. What you do with it is up to you. But omegas, like I mentioned, okay, not the farmed crappy ones. And I really want to bring that home because a small bottle of good quality omegas should cost you a bit. It shouldn't be this big mega bottle that you find from, you know, a pharmacy. So omegas play a crucial role in the cell renewal throughout the body, obviously including the skin. It's a massive anti-inflammatory. You've heard it before, fish, anti-inflammatory, voila. But it's all skin types benefit from it. So it's not, I have dry skin, I need omegas, not at all. It's any sort of a skin because of that anti-inflammatory properties. Now, we also have Ageless Actives, one of my favorite products, not spoken about enough. Again, those of you who are brand new here, I'm just showing you. I love to use the term pulling the curtain across. Those of you who have been using the system for ages too might not even have a lot to do with this product, but I want to explain that a bit more. So CoQ10 is an enzyme that our bodies kind of create already. It's an antioxidant enzyme. It depletes as we age, but it also just depletes from life and stress and all those things that we listed. So you can get it from foods like organ meat, liver, you know, pate, like making a pate out of liver, organic chicken, soybeans, avocado, nuts and seeds. But again, you're having to have quite a lot of that to get that in. So we have a Ageless Actives, which is also has the vitamin D3, the best of the vitamin Ds that you need, the CoQ10 and resveratrol. So resveratrol basically is what's in wine. So, you know, you hear about antioxidants, resveratrol. It's actually the skin on the grapes, same skin in blueberries, but mostly of the grapes. And that helps with the longevity of the cells. So an incredible one. Now, telomeres. Here's a little bit of research for you. Now, the first time I actually ever heard about telomeres, funnily enough, was on Oprah. And it was a celebrity, I can't remember who, but a beautiful blonde American celebrity. And she was talking about health and all things, you know, health related. And she was saying that the biggest groundbreaking, she was asking, okay, give me your secret for it. And she said, honestly, I did my research on telomeres. And I was like, what the hell is a telomere, right? And I actually went and researched this before I had even heard of ISA. So the telomeres are those little things on the back. You can see them in this picture. They are protective tips. Now, the best way I've had it explained is they're like the tips at the end of a shoelace. You know, that little plastic bit that stops the shoelace from fraying? The same thing is true with telomeres, and they're at the end of every DNA strand, okay? So as your chromosomes split, as we age, illness, you know, every factor you can imagine, those telomeres fray down. You know, they begin to fray if you think about the shoelace, right? And that's how we age. It's literally the DNA in the cells aging. Think about them getting shorter, shorter, shorter. You're getting older, older, older. And that's what everything looks like, right? So as you get older, you can see it in your skin. So Isagenix created, this was the first product they ever launched in Australia. It was only in Australia. This was the only products in Oz for a good year, maybe more. And they built a huge amount of business on this product only, right? Nothing else was talked about in this country yet. They hadn't yet had TGA approval for shakes because it was a real food, not just a supplement. They hadn't had approval yet for anything else. And this was the first product in, okay? Now, this is not a cheap product. This is about $100 for this bottle, right? And there's good reason for that because it is incredibly potent and incredibly special. The guy that did the research for this product, who worked for Isagenix as well as other companies, he's a lead scientist on this research, won a Nobel Peace Prize. So that's how incredible this is, right? This is how groundbreaking this research was. Now you'll see other companies pop up more underground. You would never really go to a chemist and find anything about telomere support, again, because it's probably difficult to explain. But to give you guys truth in the way of benefit, you know, I know so many stories about people who have had massive car accidents. I know of one guy, Scott in particular, who had a massive skiing accident, broke his leg in many spots. and was just like, all right, I'm going to double up on Isagenesis. And they thought it would be years for recovery, and like 2 months later he was up and about. So it's again about protecting those cells. You'll also hear people talk often about the Isoglow, like people that have been on the products for like 5-10 years who have this glow to them, and that no doubt has a lot to do with this. So this is literally about pausing aging. You can't reverse aging, there's no such thing, but things like fasting, again, go just for your back, 100%, 150%. Anyone over the age of 50 needs to be on this product, full stop. Anyone under, you're getting a head start, right? I take it every single day now, and will never ever stop because I dove into that research even more. So again, I try to keep these short. If you want to go and have a look up on telomeres, please go for it. Now, you're probably sitting there going, holy shit, okay, CoQ10, omegas, like there's so many things, but ISA, again, the genius that they are, created the complete essentials. So they look like condoms. You have an AM and a PM pack in the men's and the women's, and the capsules are big. And the men, they have in it the omegas, your multivitamin, which is your complete essentials, again, for men or for women, because they're separate in all of that. And I will go through some of those next week in the women's webinar. But it's got all that I've just listed. It's got your ageless actives in it. So I think this is one of the most underrated, unspoken things in the whole of Isagenix, because this is just taking away literally any of the thinking for you. You have your AM pack, you swallow those tablets down, your PM pack, swallow those tablets down, right? You know, it's covering off all of that. If you have, Isagenesis is in these as well. So if you've been lazy, with your tablets, get this, I chuck them into my bag all the time. It comes with me everywhere because I'm lazy with getting to it in the morning, and then I'll be sitting at school pickup line and go, oh my God, now to take it. Yeah, the tablets are big. It's definitely difficult for those people who can't swallow tablets, but unfortunately that's just kind of where the world is with needing those things. So as I always like to say, how you show up in your life day to day, all those micro moments. So taking those capsules, focusing on that cleanse, even if you are new and you're learning about this for this first time watching this recording, this is a micro moment for you. This could be this moment for you where you take control of your health in a way you never have before. That's a huge thing. And these moments is what makes up your years and therefore your life, right? To me, glowing skin. Now, if we all know, without a doubt, we've all had a skin thing of some kind or another, how debilitating it can be, like to your confidence, to you wanting to go out, you wanting to have a photo taken, be on camera. So to me, glowing skin, a healthy body, being full of energy, it has you showing up in life to those things, right? Perhaps you're single, wanting to go on a date, but these things are holding you back, perhaps it's stepping into a career you never have before, but these things are holding you back. This is your life. These moments make up your life. So when we talk about health in a big way, and I hope in a fun way, that you guys understand why I get so passionate about that, because it's literally about how you're showing up in your life. So whoever has sent you here tonight, or whoever has sent you this recording, hot tip, that person is your biggest cheerleader. They honestly are. They see, goosebumps, they see something in you, or they have heard something from you, or they just know that this could be great for you. So understand that they really are here to cheer you on. So your turn. Do you guys, before we stop the recording, have any questions for me? I would love to hear. Well, thanks, Steffi. She said that I'm an angel for you guys watching the recording that can't see the thing. So thanks, says. She's saying, thanks, loved this. Beautiful. So next week, we're talking about all things women's wellness. So that's everything from, I want to go through to early 20s, party lifestyle, right through to, trying to conceive, through to stress in life, through pregnancy and beyond. I want to take you guys through a bit of a timeline. Obviously, I can't take you through every scientific part of all of that, but I would love to hear from you guys on the socials later, if you wouldn't mind, and let me know as a woman what you would love me to talk about next week in that regard. I know for myself, mum, 3 little ones, stress is high. So I'm going to talk a lot around that. But I would love to hear from you guys as well if there are other things that you would like me to chat about. So Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Thank you guys. Thanks, Vicky. Thanks, Tara. Thanks, Jess. I hope you're okay. Hormone cycle issues. Yep, good one. Thank you, everybody, for having me tonight. Tag me in your stuff. I love to see it. Let me know what things you're going to put into play this week and beyond in regards to your skin health. I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to hydrate. It's a big one. Don't forget that hydration comes from more than just water. It's in things like our Cleanse for Life and that aloe vera that's in there. It comes from fasting, believe it or not. It comes from fruits and vegetables, real food. So a huge one for skin. All right. How did I go for time? I'm always running over time. Sorry, guys. Love you all. Thanks to all the sisters, the new people, those of you watching the recording. And I look forward to, chatting next week. Bye, guys.